What's going on, gents? Welcome back to the channel. Here is 3 reasons why every guy should learn to fight, or at the very least learn how to defend himself. Reason number 1, confidence. When you know how to defend yourself, if you have to, in the rare circumstances where you might need to do so, you feel much more confident about your day-to-day life. You can be traveling in a different country, being in a city that you're not overly familiar with, and if a circumstance arises where you need to defend yourself, you feel much more confident and less scared about these sorts of interactions. You don't walk around with the same sort of anxiety that a person who doesn't know how to defend themselves walks around with every single day. You understand that if somebody approaches you in a confrontational manner, and they are looking to get into some kind of physical altercation with you, that unless they have a weapon or unless they have something that makes the encounter unfair, let's just say that, then you're going to be okay. You're going to be able to defend yourself and de-escalate the situation as quickly as possible. And, you know, more than not in most cases, if somebody doesn't have a weapon and some thug just comes and tries to attack you, these guys are not really trained. They just swing and they're just aggressive. When somebody trained throws a nice stiff jab in their direction, they don't really know how to register what's happened. There's normally a period of shock and generally they'll walk off. But, if you don't know how to fight and you don't even know how to throw a punch correctly, you may find yourself in some difficult situations. And as I said, one of the main reasons to learn or practice, just at least to a level where you can defend yourself, is confidence. You feel so much more confident walking around day to day, knowing that if something happens, within reason, you can defend yourself. Now, a point that I want to make is that I'm not mentioning here that you need to go and become the next John Jones, Conor McGregor, Brock Lesnar, Mike Tyson. I'm just saying learn how to defend yourself, right? There's a difference. It's not to say you need to go boxing training 3 times a week, MMA 3 times a week, something like that. It's to say try and learn, if you don't know already, the basics of self-defense. It would be a good idea to get to an MMA class or a boxing class. These are things that I've done a lot of in my life. I've trained kickboxing, MMA, done some jiu-jitsu as well, and like I say, I'm not good by any metric comparing myself to people who maybe compete per se, but I know I can look after myself. I've done quite a few sparring rounds, and all of that training allowed me to experience the confidence that I am talking about right now. In my day-to-day life, I don't feel intimidated when I'm approached by people. I don't feel intimidated in these sorts of situations because I know that if I need to defend myself, I can. There is obviously a difference sometimes because you don't know if somebody's carrying something, if somebody wants to do something even more, dissincere with you, maybe taking the assault to the next level. But in circumstances where you can see what's going on, I feel very confident that I can defend myself, get myself out of that situation and handle it appropriately if I need to. It's just a different type of confidence. Reason number 2 as to why you should learn to fight or defend yourself is actually a little bit less selfish, and it's more around protecting others. It's a great feeling when you know you can step in and save the day if you need to. Somebody's in trouble. Unfortunately, we have a lot of problems in our society with men attacking women. We have a lot of problems with violent crime and unjustified violent crime. I mean, violent crime is never justified, but sometimes we see people that just assault people meaninglessly. There's no reason behind it. They just want to hurt people. They just want to hurt people. They see people that are vulnerable and they pick on them. One of the benefits of you learning to fight and defend yourself and learning how to fight in general is that you might be able to step in and help somebody one day. A lady that's getting robbed, an old lady that's getting robbed, some guys that are being creepy around this girl and won't leave her alone, people that are assaulting women, people that are assaulting weaker men. you learning how to fight might save somebody's life. It really might. It's crazy to think that, but I can't imagine what a better world we would live in if in the sad cases where people are murdered and people are assaulted so badly that they have life-changing injuries, I can't help but imagine if somebody who knew how to fight and defend themselves was in that environment when it happened, would it have happened at all? Would we live in a much better world? Would the world we live in be much safer? So it's not to say that you need to be the hero and save the day all the time, but I think it's so good for society that as men with the strong bodies that we have, we know how to defend ourselves, but also we know how to defend others. You see injustice, you see somebody being really mistreated, you see somebody being assaulted, abused in public, you can step in and help out if you need to and do the right thing. I believe as a man that's one of my purposes in this world, to use the body that God gave me, this strong body, and help out when I see bad things going on. I'm not a person that likes injustice, and one of the main things I like about being able to defend myself the way that I can is that I can step in if I need to. And I think this is something really important that all men should be looking at. If you can't learn, if you haven't learned to fight, rather, if you can't defend yourself at this present time, this is a big reason to start learning. Number one, as I said, your confidence. Number two, you're going to be able to help people. You're going to be able to help out the community and wider society and prevent a lot of bad things from happening just through your presence. You're going to make terrible people think twice just by you flicking a stiff jab in their direction and saying, hey, don't pick on young girls. Hey, don't pick on old ladies. Hey, don't pick on vulnerable people. What a better world we would live in if more men just knew how to defend themselves and just knew how to fight a little bit. Now look, reason number three is sort of an echo on point number two, and that is that if you learn to fight and learn to defend yourself, you can be a part of a cultural change. We have too much violent crime. We have too many thugs walking around the streets, assaulting people mindlessly, causing chaos, making people feel anxious about leaving home, just causing havoc in the streets. They don't add anything to our society. They're unkind people. They're people that don't clearly culturally fit within our society. And they want to do damage. They want to hurt people. They want to rip families apart. They want to rip society apart. As men, we can, if we learn to fight and defend ourselves and defend others and defend people within our society, we can play a part in fighting against this culture. This culture is wrong, and we have a responsibility to change that. And look at it like this. If we start teaching young guys from, school age, that they should box, they should maybe do a bit of jiu-jitsu, they should maybe get into martial arts, and that they should be protectors. And if they see injustice, they see bullying, they see particularly women being assaulted or approached in a wrong way by guys, that they should step in and help out. If we encourage this culture within the youth and within men, as they grow up, what we're going to do is we're going to sieve out the other culture. We're going to sieve out some of these thugs and creeps and sickos that we have in society. They're not going to have a place to hide, because everybody is going to be, from now on, changed in their approach. And I'm not talking about raising a generation of violent people. Please don't make the mischaracterization here. Just because you know how to fight, it doesn't make you a violent person. Being capable of violence and being capable of being violent and being a violent person are not the same thing. They're really not. I'm not a violent person. I'm not a violent person. I really try and avoid violence. But if I have to be violent, I can be violent, no problem at all. If the circumstances permit violence, I can step up and be violent. But I'm not a violent person, and I will avoid it until it is absolutely necessary. What I'm saying here is that we should establish a different culture within our societies that actually teaches young boys and men that we do need to step up and defend people. I see so many videos. The video of that poor Ukrainian girl on the subway is probably the most relevant to the point I'm about to make, but I see so many videos of men just standing around watching other men assault women, watching other men try and murder women, watching other men creep and make women feel uncomfortable. They just do nothing. They do absolutely nothing. And it's not right. It's not right. We have a responsibility as men. And I would say this goes beyond just men, but for women as well. But in this particular case, men. But I think we have a responsibility as humans to look after one another first and foremost. If we see injustice, regardless of if you're a boy and a girl, you should call it out. But when us men see other men targeting women, we have a responsibility to sort it. We have a responsibility to stop it. So look, 3 reasons why you should learn how to fight, or at least defend yourself. Again, I'm not saying you need to be Mike Tyson or John Jones. Reason number 1, it's going to change your confidence. It's going to completely change the way you walk and carry yourself. You're going to feel much calmer. You're going to feel like you've got situations under control. You're not going to feel nervous and anxious when you're walking around. Reason number 2, you're going to be able to protect the people that you love. You're going to be able to protect the people that you love in most cases, and you're also going to be able to help out other vulnerable people who may be victims of violent crime and these sorts of terrible things that we have in society. Reason number 3, you're going to be part of a cultural change. You learning how to fight and defend yourself and defend others will encourage other people to do the same. And you will essentially create a ripple effect amongst society. And people might see you defending a girl, they might see you defending a vulnerable guy, and they'll say, you know what, he's inspired me. I'm going to take up boxing as well. And yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I've got for today. I hope that in some way I have convinced you to at least take one martial arts class or boxing class for the first time. If you haven't ever done it before already, I'd really recommend it. As I said, it's something that I've done previously. I'm not Mike Tyson. I'm not Prime McGregor. I'm just a guy who knows how to look after himself. And I think more guys should feel the same confidence about themselves that I feel about myself in relation to self-defense and being able to take care of business as and when it comes up. Look, guys, if you took some value from this video today, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, comment your thoughts down below. Check out the links down below in the description. Check out my Discord community. If you want to hop on a one-to-one call with me, the link is also down below in the description of this video. As always, guys, thank you for your time and your attention, and I will see you in the next one.